Europe went undefeated in day one, and fans were here to celebrate their success in the tailgate with fun and games here on day two. North American teams, though, looking to turn things around after a crushing day one of losses. Did get that show match win, so we'll ride high on that as Double makes his way into the team room to ready up for that first game of the day. Again, we sit behind in the standings, 4 wins to 0 in favor of Europe. We'll see if Europe can maintain that dominance with our first game of the day, which has Team Liquid getting another shot at the MSI champions, G2 Esports. Welcome back to Rift Rivals, powered by Alienware, where we're gearing up for another day of action. The LCS and LEC Summer Finals tickets are getting ready to go on sale. Pre-sale weekend tickets are now on sale for the LEC Summer Finals in Athens. Select your exact seats in the pre-sale at riot.com/Athens. For North American fans, check out the bundles for the Summer Finals presented by Rocket Mortgage, available at riot.com/Detroit. Now, if you missed day one, I've got a relatively simple recap. Europe showed up, taking all 4 matches to kick off the week. While that might not surprise the most passionate of LEC fans, what we're seeing is that Fnatic and Origin are improving in a way that could only be attributed to being in a league with the MSI champions.
Yeah, one of the cool things that we in Europe do have is that we now have a winning team. It's very rare for us to have that. But what it's actually done is it's kind of elevated every other team around them, because G2 have introduced what is currently one of the most successful ways to play the game. And they force you to play a very reactive style, and you kind of have to get down and dirty into the chaos with which G2 creates. That kind of forces our teams in Europe to be a lot more flexible, a lot more draft focused. They also have to be willing to match every punch that gets thrown at them. So we've actually seen a lot of growth from some of our top teams, especially from spring moving into summer.
Yeah, one of the really interesting things that we've seen a lot of extra creativity from the other teams, I think based a lot on being forced by G2 to explore these options. I mean, G2 have not only fastest game time in LEC and the most combined kills per minute, but also on the world stage, all across the world, they rank in the very top percentage of those statistics. And it really is this flexibility that they're bringing to the table.
It doubles on itself too, right? This idea of a top team having flexibility and ingenuity forces you, one, to kind of learn their flexibility and ingenuity, but also to try and look for a way to take it down, right? And so again, having to innovate themselves on how to take down G2's strategies.
And that's what Fnatic did recently find, which was they were able to get their win against G2 not too long ago. And it was largely because of their very dominant early game statistics. Like, you can see them early on, last split in spring, they went on this horrendous losing streak in the first half of the split with the introduction of some new members. They band-aided some of their problems in the second half of the split, but then coming into summer, it feels like that they adapted to some of the G2 styles, with Broxah having a very impressive early game and matching some of the aggression that the likes of G2 have tried to throw at them.
Yeah, I mean, statistically there, you can see the difference between spring and summer for Fnatic. While each of the EU reps have varying strengths, it's indisputable that all 3 had great bot lane performances to kick off the tournament. However, not always playing marksman.
Exactly, and that's one of the key things, the flexibility that we're talking about. So everybody remembers the Team Liquid one where they're, camping bottom lane, but I actually pulled some stuff from the Origin game because it was even more intelligent than we thought. If you look at the very beginning, a lot of this is due to the early ward information that they get. They know there's a ward on the Raptors right there, but they don't have enough time left on the sweeper to clear it. So Cold goes around all of the vision that they have, makes a route directly towards bottom lane. So what you do in this situation, they started red, so you assume that he's going to Krugs because you didn't see him go over to the Raptors. Instead, they're going to force this level 2 red buff gank from Sejuani. There's almost no world where you expect this, yet they're the ones with the Yasuo and the Pyke in bottom lane, a duo that relies all on all ins. You have to have that threat of going all in. They make the first gank count, and then the focus on their win condition continues. Cold goes back into the jungle. He's going to get level 3, allow time for the bottom lane to get back, and then he's going to gank again.
I love it.
You continue to keep up this pressure. It's what Vidius kind of mentioned for Fnatic's success versus G2, and we're seeing this from all of the European teams thus far. Continued focus on an area where you gain an advantage. He returns to the scene of the crime, goes back down bottom lane, gets another kill, and all of a sudden, this Yuumi first pick, high priority from North America looks like trash. Everything is thrown out the window there because of the intelligent working around wards, around the enemy information.
Right.
Those are the types of things that I always loved about jungling and love to focus on from a team-wide perspective, and what Europe is doing so well so far at Rift Rivals.
This is also something where we talk a lot about European and North American teams and this ability to make 50-50 plays work, right? This play in its entirety is risky. If Cole fails his gank bot, then he's extremely far behind in the jungle. Like, his jungle pathing gets very distorted. The 2v2 doesn't get ahead, and everything goes wrong. But they're so confident in their ability to execute, and they know that they can catch the opponent off guard, that they end up making it work. And I feel like this is one of the biggest differences that we've seen between the two regions, where it feels like Europe is just willing to take a lot more risks, and they end up making them work most of the time.
All right, well, that's why they sit with 4 wins, rather. And while Europe got a minor lead to kick off the week, North America got the win that mattered, dominating the show match quite naturally.
Let's go!
Which brings us to this week's Mic Check, NA versus EU edition.
I talked extensively on the dive yesterday about how these comps, the Diephoria, how these comps are going to work out, and Hazel said comps don't matter, these players are terrible.
Oh, you really can't hear the audience, actually.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good. It's a lot better than I remember.
What are we playing today?
Probably Pike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pike? Really?
Yeah.
Pike?
Yeah. It's the only thing he practiced.
Okay.
Let's crush these trash noobs.
We can't do a huddle now.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Can we?
I'll lead the huddle.
With the referee.
Yeah. Let's get up here.
Your voice is incredibly annoying. Like, to a point.
Wait for it to spawn. Wait for him to take damage. Wait.
Let's first.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, you need a kite back. Oh my god.
What is this?
Tryharders,
Come on!
Really?
No.
That's unbelievable.
Sejuani. Oh my god. Really good. Okay, good.
Oh, baby!
That's okay.
I have TP.
Renekton is like CS like a gold player. It's fine.
I'm running down.
Oh, Jarvan's not showing.
I'm here. West. Tower's here.
Oh, you're beast, dude.
You're fucking insane.
Yo, let me get a pro view replay.
Oh no! Oh no!
get him?
No! Get him!
No!
Get him! Kill him!
Yes.
We got him! We got him! We got him! We got him!
Quadra kill?
I'm back.
Oh, Quadra kill.
We aced
Yeah, we're kind of nice. we're kind of nice, guys. Let's start an LCS team.
They're on top soon though. Kill him and run. Oh yes. Yeah.
Oh! Baited and outsmarted. They thought I was bad, but I'm back. And still bad.
And yeah, a little bit.
Kill Jarvan. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're pretty far.
I actually expected so much more from you.
Yeah, I expected more too.
Medic, every time you're trying to help me, you die.
Look at this GA. Look at this GA. What a beast.
Sell it fast. Oh, nice dodge.
We got big plans.
I'm not an
I
EU
get it.
fan anymore.
I get it.
Good shot. Fist bump.
We're so we're actually so toxic.
Let's go, Dyrus.
And with that win comes the news that North America will be subbing in the show match squad for the relay race tomorrow as
We're ready.
our best shot at winning. Kobe will lead the charge there.
Makes sense.
Does that make you worried?
I'm
For
a little
G2
more
as a
worried.
whole, I'd be a little
I mean,
concerned.
the draft from the show match team, probably the best draft of the tournament.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, we'll see if North America can bounce back with our games today. The day begins with an MSI Finals rematch between Team Liquid and G2 Esports, followed by Origin versus Cloud9, with 3 more matches before the 2v2 Best in the West Gauntlet. Regardless of how the rest of the tournament plays out, though, you can be sure Team Liquid will be coming into Game 1 with fire in their bellies, given how the MSI Finals played out not too long ago.
Yeah, that final was definitely not one that North American fans want to remember. Expectations were very high, given that they just shut down Invictus Gaming, but G2, they came in prepared, their drafts were clean, the execution was even better, and it felt like that as the series went on, G2 only got faster and faster.
Yeah, that was the fastest best of 5 at a Riot-hosted international event ever. I think that we actually do want to remember it as a lesson, right? We like to
Yes.
hold on to these.
We learned.
So that you can look forward, right?
That's positive, because Europeans love to forget 2014 Worlds. That never happened.
But in talking about maybe what was learned, I do want to hone in on a few matchups. First and foremost, the support matchup. Perhaps the 2 best supports for either region squaring off against each other once again. in Mickey X versus Core JJ.
I love looking at these two supports largely because Core JJ is someone that kind of came into the scene this year and just kind of leveled up the overall supports that we have in North America. He's been a joy to watch mechanically. He's very strong. Yesterday, his Lux performance was very good, and he's going up against once again, Mickey from Europe, who he's been in the discussion for best support in the league for a very long time. People often debate whether it's Hylissang or him, but mechanically, he's always been considered one of the best. And I feel like we got to see some of that on his one-trick Gragas yesterday, where he just dominated in the 2v2.
I am so excited for this matchup. Core JJ is the biggest playmaker for Team Liquid. So much of their game plan hinges on Core JJ's play, and Mickey yesterday was amazing on the Gragas. The support Gragas going all in, had most kills in the entire game. He had more AP than the enemy mid laner. He solo killed the enemy mid laner, by the way. So it's definitely going to be a showdown of top supports.
And while the Lux may be strong in the support position, I think a number of NA fans are kind of longing for a Core JJ to pilot something with a little bit more playmaking potential, like a Gragas or a Pyke or even his Alistar of old. But we have to talk about another really important matchup, the rematch between Caps and Jensen here in the mid lane.
I do feel that Caps is to Jensen what Rookie is to Caps in the often when they face, he is a hurdle that he looks to overcome. There is that one game that he gets to hold on to in MSI where he was able to have the edge over Caps, but often when they do meet, it just feels like the impact that Caps has over the map always overwhelms Jensen, and he struggles to find answers.
Yeah, I think Jensen definitely eager to fight back in this matchup, and he has had a couple of good comebacks, but it's definitely going to be very difficult. To me, the biggest difference is the difference in styles of these two mid laners. Jensen is one of the more traditional, I guess I'll call it, mid laners, where they do spend much more time in mid lane. He's trying to get his advantage there, whereas Caps has been amazing and integral to G2's style of roaming very quickly to both sides of the map, getting the rest of the team going, plus adding that extra layer of flexibility. I think that's just something that Team Liquid as a whole are going to have a hard time dealing with. You know, even the draft phase versus G2, it's very difficult to, even after it's completed, figure out which lanes the champions are actually going to go to.
Right, and understanding that we have not seen champion select and that there is a mismatch in styles, what would we consider a victory for Jensen in the mid lane then? Is it about just preventing Caps from getting to a side lane? Or is it about, while letting Caps do that, I'm building a 20 CS lead and taking 3 plates? Like, what is that metric that we can finally say, like, hey, Jensen performed well in this matchup, knowing that they likely won't just go toe-to-toe 1v1 the whole time?
I feel that it's about how well he can match the pressure that Caps naturally exerts on the map, because I think something that you alluded to and something we saw a lot of at MSI is how Caps is willing to sacrifice himself for the betterment of his team. And I think that Jensen needs to find ways in which he's able to match that, track that, or control it in some way. And if he's able to do that, even if Team Liquid lose, I think that that shows more growth from Jensen compared to what we saw at MSI.
Yeah, I mean, game impact can be had with establishing control around mid lane. It also can be had with other lanes. So that's kind of the difference that we have to measure up.
Well, earlier we concocted a fun little experiment for this win conditions where we swapped corresponding regions and sent a camera crew to capture the process of coming up with those win conditions. Let's take a look.
Should I start? Okay. Residency rule 2G2, then they need 3 Americans. Let's see here.
1, 2, 3, 4 Caps. All here? All right, good. It was nice. So you made us swap regions.
Right. So Kobe took the win conditions for G2. Vedius, you were tasked with TL.
How do you guys do it?
I don't have to. I just sit on this side of the desk and ask them to do the work. It's a good life.
So I spent all night working on it, and I do have some theories on how TL can win.
All right,
One of the
maybe-
biggest ones, I know it's going to be a challenge, but a part of it will come down to the draft, right? And admittedly, it's going to be difficult to outdraft G2, but if you focus on finding a draft that enables you to play through the early game and enable Xmithy from the regular season that we have been seeing where he's ganking a lot more, he's trying to snowball the lanes, then I think that you can get an early lead against G2. It has been done, and we know that Caps is the type of player that can run it down. It happens multiple times, and that's how Fnatic found their win. So I think TL have the capable players to do it. They just need to focus on finding that early game strat and then just hold on to the lead.
Tall order, yet possible. Kobe, aside from counting and making sure that the players make it to the stage, what can G2 do to ensure victory here?
Yeah, I think relying on their two biggest strengths. For me, the first thing coming in was the flexibility that G2 have in draft. Rely on this to get multiple winning lanes for themselves. Even if they, like we said, complete the draft, they can still rotate the players to different roles and get the matchups that they want. And then, of course, also attack double lift early, because that is what Team Liquid rely upon, is team fighting towards the mid game. If you attack double lift early, that will delay and weaken one of their biggest strengths.
All right, well, there you have it. The stage is set. We are going to take a quick break, but when we return, casters bring us into side selection 2v2, which pits Impact and Jensen versus Wonder and Caps. You won't want to miss it.